These are the moments in MMA history where careers ended in one punch, where legends crumbled in seconds, and where the cage became a graveyard of dreams. Each knockout you're about to see is even more brutal than the last. So don't blink, because the most shocking finish of them all is waiting at the very end. Let's start with UFC 300, the night Alex Pereira reminded the world why he's the scariest striker alive. Jamahal Hill came in confident, hands up, ready to test Pereira's chin. But in seconds, Pereira's left hook landed like a wrecking ball. Hill folded instantly, crashing to the canvas as Pereira stood over him like a cold executioner. That wasn't just a knockout, that was domination. But next MMA fighter is one of the greatest finishers in UFC history. His name is Charles Oliveira. He looked untouchable, but Ilia Topuria, the Spanish-Georgian sniper, had other plans. In a stunning exchange, Topuria landed a bomb of a right hand that sent Oliveira crashing down, his body stiff before it even hit the mat. The arena went silent for a moment before erupting because the king had fallen in brutal fashion. But if you think punches are bad, wait until you see what happens when someone spins out of nowhere. Jiří Procházka doesn't fight like anyone else, and against Dominic Reyes, he showed why. After a wild back and forth, Jiří pulled out a move straight out of a video game, a spinning back elbow that landed flush on Reyes' jaw.
Iron back, toughness shown on each side.
Reyes dropped instantly, out cold, as Jiří stood over him. It wasn't just a knockout, it was a highlight for the history books. And speaking of history, this next one ended one of the longest winning streaks in UFC history. Kamaru Usman was seconds away from defending his title yet again, dominating the fight, cruising toward another victory until Leon Edwards, out of nowhere, landed the head kick heard around the world.
From which he is caught.
Usman went stiff, falling backward like a statue. The commentary said it best: Rocky has done it. A single kick flipped the entire welterweight division upside down. And just when you thought revenge story written in blood, this didn't end there. The next knockout is far more dangerous. In UFC 300 gave us chaos, and Max Holloway gave us one of the most jaw-dropping finishes in MMA history. With just 1 second left on the clock, Holloway pointed to the center and traded bombs with Gaethje. Then, bang, a final right hand landed flush, sending Gaethje collapsing to the floor like a man unplugged. The crowd lost their minds as Holloway stood tall, proving once again why he's the Blessed Express. Now you see the front kick that shut the lights out instantly. Tony Ferguson had never been knocked out in his UFC career until Michael Chandler unleashed a kick from hell. In the second round, Chandler fired a front kick straight up the middle, snapping Ferguson's head back violently. Tony fell face first to the canvas, stiff as a board, while Chandler somersaulted across the cage in celebration. One of the most brutal and shocking endings in UFC history. But sometimes it's not a punch, it's not a kick, it's raw, terrifying power. Pride Fighting Championships gave us some wild moments, but nothing like Rampage Jackson's slam heard around the world. Ricardo Arona had Rampage in a triangle choke, seconds away from finishing the fight. Then Rampage lifted him into the air like a rag doll and slammed him onto the canvas.
He's gonna go. He's gonna get out. Try. Oh, Dan, I told you, he picked him up and slam him to the floor. He's out. He's out. Unbelievable. It came true. Quentin.
Arona went stiff, unconscious instantly, as Rampage roared over him. Not just a knockout, this was a demolition, and the next KO was like watching The Matrix in real life. Anderson Silva made a former light heavyweight champion look like an amateur. Against Forrest Griffin, Silva slipped punches like he was dodging in slow motion and then delivered counter shots so sharp Griffin couldn't even react. The final blow? A short, effortless jab that dropped Forrest face first.
It's Silva. I mean, that's just amazing. And again, he's out.
Silva didn't even celebrate, he just walked away, knowing he had embarrassed a champion on the biggest stage. But sometimes, the most brutal knockouts aren't about skill, they're about revenge. Michael Bisping wasn't supposed to win. He took the fight on short notice, facing the man who had already dominated him before. But at UFC 199, Bisping landed the left hook that changed his life. Rockhold crumbled, stunned, as Bisping swarmed with punches until the ref jumped in. Against all odds, the veteran finally became UFC champion by delivering one of the most shocking title fight knockouts ever. And Anthony Pettis made sure it would never be forgotten. In the 5th round, he ran up the cage like it was a trampoline and launched the Showtime Kick a Superman kick straight to Benson Henderson's jaw. Henderson somehow stayed standing, but the damage was done.
And Stephan, I cannot think of a better way to bring down the curtain.
That strike wasn't just a highlight, it became the most replayed moment in MMA history. But sometimes, it's not flashy technique that shocks us, it's raw knockout power. Chuck Liddell was already a legend, but Rashad Evans turned him into a cautionary tale. Mid-second round, Evans uncorked a counter right hand that landed flush on Liddell's jaw. Chuck fell flat on his back, completely unconscious, while Evans celebrated in disbelief. The image of the once unstoppable Iceman frozen on the canvas marked the end of an era. And if you thought that was the end of an era, wait until you see what happened when Fedor decided to prove he was still the king. Andrei Arlovski was doing great landing jabs, looking fast, and even pushing Fedor against the ropes. Then he got bold. Arlovski leaped in with a flying knee, and Fedor countered with a right hand from the gods. Arlovski face planted into the canvas, unconscious instantly, as the crowd erupted in shock.
Oh, good right.
Push kick by Arlovski.
That's it.
1 second, Arlovski was winning, next second, he was gone. And from legends of the past, let's fast forward to a knockout that just shook the UFC in 2023. Josh Emmett is known for his one-punch power, but nobody expected what he did to Bryce Mitchell. Early in the 1st round, Emmett landed a right hand so heavy, it looked like Mitchell's soul left his body. Bryce collapsed backwards, stiff, his arms locked as he lay frozen on the canvas. Fans called it one of the scariest knockouts of the year, and a brutal reminder of why Emmett's fists are feared. And there you have it, the most jaw-dropping, lights-out knockouts in MMA history. From flying knees out of nowhere to right hands that could stop time, these moments prove why MMA is the most dangerous, unpredictable sport on the planet. But here's the thing, we've only scratched the surface. There are even more brutal KOs waiting to be relived, and I guarantee you haven't seen them all. So if you're ready for round 2, smash sure you subscribe because the next video will make these knockouts look tame. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.